Okay, next up we have the traditions screen. Now, the traditions screen is essentially fueled by this resource here called Unity. Now, Unity is a resource that cannot be found or cannot be supplied essentially by a standard construction ship or any science vessel researching it on a planet. However, if you select any planet and you go to the surface, you can construct Unity buildings. As you can see here, this one is producing 7 Unity, this one here is producing 5 Unity. There is not normally a huge amount of structures that will produce them. Here we go, we've got another one here that's producing 25. But they are normally unique structures, as in you will only ever be able to build one on them on a particular planet. So normally, if you are in direct control of a planet, I do recommend building a Unity structure. Anyway, so what do you spend this Unity resource on? You spend it on traditions. Now, it happens in this particular save game that I have all my traditions unlocked, but at the very beginning of the game, you will have none of these unlocked. You'll be able to get them unlocked as your Unity amount is increased, and you have to make a decision. Now, I can't make these decisions for you. There are good starting traditions for everyone, but it's all completely situational. So, for example, in this particular game, the tradition I actually started out myself with was this one here called Discovery. Adopting the Discovery tradition meant that just by selecting this, without actually selecting any icons, so I have then committed myself to Discovery Research, or a Discovery Tradition. And in doing so, my research vessels had a reduced chance of failing whenever they decided that they were going to do an anomaly, and they had an increased chance for detection. Now, at the very beginning of the game, you'll have 1 or 2 science ships, and you'll be spreading out from your home system, exploring one galaxy at a time. So Discovery for me seemed to be a sensible choice for me. This is a big universe, there were many systems. I was going to get the most out of the Discovery options by adopting it early on in the game. As you can see here, survey speed is increased by 35%, and science ship combat evasion increased by plus 30. Again, my ships were surveying one system at a time in order to try and find me a habitable planet for me to expand my empire. It seemed to make a lot more sense for me to be able to survey those systems a lot quicker so that I could scout through the systems a lot quicker. So on and so forth. Each one of these will expand a particular focus within your universe. So, for example, Discovery comes with the science ships exploring out. Prosperity is focused primarily on increasing your resources generation and reducing the running costs of your empire. Versatility unlocks more of the allied options and communicating diplomatically with the rest of the universe. Domination, as you can see here, is just more of if you're enslaving the rest of the galaxy, as in you're quite literally, as the name suggests, if you're trying to dominate the universe as best you can. That's another great option that you want to do. Expansion is great for if you want to rapidly develop and spread your influence across the galaxy. Expansion might be a good option for you. Supremacy is essentially increasing your oppression to the rest of the galaxy. It's making you try and reign supreme. It increases the damage of your ships, the damage of your armies. Synchronicity is a way of basically once you have taken control of parts of the galaxy, synchronicity can help reduce any problems that you might have. You have something that's called unrest, where people that are on the planet, for example, if I take over one of the planets for one of these guys, they are organic. Being a robot empire, I can't actually handle having any organics on any of my planets. I must convert them all to cyborgs. But they don't obviously like being converted to cyborgs, so they will riot on the planet, and a way to prevent them from rioting is to have a synchronicity research. So, for example, the unrest is reduced by 20% on all our planets, so they're not so as effective at rioting. So I don't. Another way to stop the rioting is to actually send a defensive army to that planet, and they will actually settle on that planet, and the army will prevent the people from fighting back and rebelling, essentially. If you don't address unrest, then they may fight back and they may actually take control of their planet again. For example, these guys here, they were actually completely conquered by these guys here. But after they were conquered, not long after, they actually managed to take back their own planet, and they've set themselves back up as their own individual empire. Tiny little one, just one planet. They are no threat. They can actually just be declared, have war declared against them again, and have the planet taken back off them again. And they can riot again. There's nothing stopping them from rioting again unless they send an army to that planet to address the unrest. Once you have completed an entire category, so for example, when I say completed, you can see here it's 5 out of 5. So once I click Discovery, that's selecting one thing. Then, once I've selected the 5 buttons, so it's essentially 6 times you invest in every single one of these. But once you have fully researched it, you have one of these become available, which are known as Ascension Perks. So, completing Discovery gave me my first Ascension Perk, which I can see here. I researched was Technological Ascendancy. Now, Ascension Perks are very, very powerful. They are ways of your empire making massive technological leaps. So the quicker you get your unity up as high as possible, the quicker you get traditions, the quicker you become the most powerful empire in the galaxy. Now these guys here are a fallen empire, so they are fully developed. So just for comparison, you can see their technology level is only superior to me. Now, if I go to these guys, however, which is just another AI in the universe, you can see they're inferior to me. Everyone else, if I go into my contacts list and go to relative power, my 2 allies are equivalent. In fact, their technology level is inferior to me, and my other allies' technological level is also inferior to me, because I have every type of research, every type of Ascension perk filled, essentially. So, for example, I have 10% increased research speed, which is a massive bonus. To get it early on in the game means I've been able to develop my technology as fast as possible. The next thing I got was border range, so I was able to, for example, when it shows border range, so this planet here is a planet on its own, but the border range actually encompasses these 2 systems as well. So any resources that are in these 2 systems, because I own this system, became available to me. So I find border range is another very high and important Ascension perk. Machine worlds, again, another one because I'm a machine empire, but so on and so forth. You have the megastructures becoming available, ring worlds becoming available, habitats becoming available. They're 3 megastructures, they're 3 Ascension perks that are required to be able to build megastructures. And then Defender of the Galaxy, we actually had a endgame crisis in this game. And Defender of the Galaxy just makes my ships, as you can see there, 50% more powerful against that endgame crisis. We were actually completely able to fight them off as well because of that. And then lastly, I had another one here called the Synthetic Age, where I gave my Machine Empire additional modification points, as well as making them cost less. Ascension perks are unique, again, depending on the type of playstyle that you have. If you're a Machine Empire, you'll have different ones from an Organic Empire, so on and so forth. But they are definitely something that you want to be aiming for. Get those Unity structures built, and get those Ascension perks picked as soon as possible. That is the traditions screen.